Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Power of One podcast. My name is Jenifer Page, and I am the president of Champions for CASA. Emilio Swan, my co-host, is proudly serving our country in the U.S. Marine Corps. Could not make it today. We are proudly served with his former foster parent, Alex Bernal, who's joining us today. We're so lucky to have him.
I'm so happy to be here today. I hope I make my son proud.
Also would like to introduce Lisa to Clark County Family Services, Deputy Director there. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. So Lisa, can you describe for us what Clark County Family Services is and what they do?
Yeah, absolutely, Jen. So Clark County Family Services is the local child public welfare agency, and our role is to help keep children safe. And we do that by partnering with our community. Our mission is to protect children from abuse and neglect, and we support family preservation and reunification. And whenever possible, we try to provide permanent families for those children that cannot return home to their families. Overall, we are responsible for the well-being and care for the children that are in our custody. Family services, we do a whole lot of things, I'm sure you can imagine, but part of that is we do run the child abuse and neglect hotline. We recruit and train foster parents. We investigate child abuse allegations, and we ensure that children have safe homes and supportive caregivers while they're in foster care.
Now, who exactly does Family Services serve?
Well, Clark County Family Services obviously serves the community, and on average, we probably receive over 2,800 calls to our abuse and neglect hotline each month. About half of those calls will result in one of our teams going out and to investigate the allegations. On any day here in Clark County, we roughly have about 3,200 kids that are residing here in foster care who have an open case within the Clark County court system. Children in foster care, they're from newborn to all the way 17, right before their 18th birthday. About 41% of those kids are under the age of 5. So we really have a need for caregivers who can take young children.
You talk to me a little bit about your goals. What are your short-term, mid-term, and long-range goals at Clark County Family Services?
So our overarching goal are to keep children safe. Our short terms may just be working with children and families to get them in a safe environment. And if there's like immediate danger or impending danger, we do that by working with families, by safety planning with them, maybe connecting with relatives that can help keep those children safe, or a family friend, or we would end up having them connected with a licensed caregiver. If there is continued court involvement and the child has to remain in foster care, we do obviously have to ensure that the children's needs are met, making sure that they are with a safe and supportive caregiver, make sure medical, dental needs are met. We also, if the child needs services like occupational therapy, speech therapy, all the things that a child may need, we help make sure they get those services in place wherever they are residing. Another important goal is we want kids to remain connected with their families. Our primary goal is to try to reunify families, and how we support that is ensuring that families visit with their kids, children visit with their kids and siblings. So family visitation is a priority for our agency. Long-term goals, it's really unique probably to the child's and family situation. The hope is that all kids will be able to return home to their families. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. So if a family completes a court order reunification, we would be able to reunify them successfully with their families. November this last year, I'd say about 63% of the children in foster care reunited with their families throughout the year. So that's a great outcome for kids to be able to return back to their family of origin. Sometimes reunification is not possible. So at that point, the goal might shift to finding permanency to families for the children. We do that through adoption. We do that through guardianship. Might be with a relative. It might be with their caregiver. About 18% in the last year found another permanency option through adoption. And lastly, we do have teens in foster care. Unfortunately, they, sometimes teens don't go home and they age out of the system. So our goal is to make sure when they do exit care, we want them to be independent, successful adults. So we work with the teenagers and to empower them and their goals to make sure they transition successfully into the next part of their adult life.
So, Alex, you work with teenagers a lot. What's your experience?
Well, I got 17 years of experience as working as a foster parent, teen boys. And I know they have uniqueness. They have needs that are a lot different than those probably in elementary, middle school. What is your experience and what do you feel is the need of these teens?
Well, first, Alex, thank you for that. 17 years of service to family services is amazing. We need more foster parents like you who are willing to step up and care for teenagers. Very important population. So teens in foster care, they're just like every other teen, right? They're trying to navigate high school, get their driver's license, figure out colleges or military. The biggest difference, I think, for teens is they're living in foster care with that stigma of being in foster care. So trying to navigate all the things, comes with being a teenager and then having to be known as the foster child at school or that stigma. They deal with that on a daily basis. So other than that, they're your typical teens. I mean, you could probably tell me better.
Yeah, I think, just as long as you give them love, support, and consistency, I think that's what they mostly need.
And I bet everything that you help them with are getting jobs and getting their IDs and figuring out schooling and their goals and future.
I would like to say all of them, but I know some don't, but they always know that I'm there.
That's an important piece, that even after they may leave foster care, we have extended foster care. Kids can move over to Clark County Social Services and get support till age 21, but at least to be able to come back to have an amazing foster parent to be there to listen or just guide them is amazing. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to represent Emilio here for a minute. I know he credits you with being a Marine, so you obviously do something well.
You know what? This sometimes when a kid says they want to do something, you just support them, and I think that's all I need to do with him. Just say you can do it.
A question that just popped into my mind, I've always wondered is, when a child is reunified, does the department stay involved in that child's case after reunification? Is there a time period that they stay?
There's not a set time period, but we just don't return children home and then close out of the case. We stay and work with the families and monitor them. At some point, the court will determine that it's appropriate to close the case, and our services or interventions aren't needed. However, we would have set up that family with success. Any services the child or family needed, they would already be in place.
Question with that also. So when you get a family that's been reunified, and do you see cases where they eventually come back?
Unfortunately, we do. Family might have different dynamics in their life and they need help resolving. So they come back to the attention of the department.
It's great to know that you're staying involved and active, though, so that those things can be identified early and that we are protecting those kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
fantastic.
How important is CASA when it comes to what family services does?
CASA volunteers play a very important, crucial role for helping children while they are in foster care. They really are a stable, caring adult that are in these children's lives. They have such a unique and important relationship with these children. They help make sure that kids receive the care and nurture that they need. They are the voice for the children in the courtroom. They help us carry out our mission for the children. They really are eyes and ears to what the children see and live on a daily basis. CASAs do so many things. I can't say enough about CASA, having worked with the CASAs for many years. So
my favorite part is the sibling preservation, for sure.
Oh,
getting to see the kids get to see each other, especially when they unfortunately can't live together, right, in those situations. But seeing them bond together and just hang out is heartwarming.
Yes, and CASAs are very strong advocates for ensuring that siblings stay connected. They help us with that because it can be challenging when you have a large sibling group and trying to coordinate visits. And I do love that about the CASAs, because they share that important value with us.
So as a CASA volunteer, can you tell me how we can specifically support the mission? Is there things that we could be doing?
So going back to our mission, we protect children from abuse and neglect by partnering with the community and ensuring safe and nurturing families. Their CASA's just, continuing to be wonderful partners with our foster parents, our children, our agencies, by them getting to really know the kids and their caregivers, and being able to speak for the children in court. That's critical. Just really, I think, having that connection with the children and their caregivers, wherever they might be placed, as well as the agency. CASAs are always a valued and wonderful partner for our agency. It takes a village to raise a kid.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Lisa, what does success look like for family services?
Overall success for family services is really about being able to strengthen families. It might be a child's biological family, it might be their relative, it might be a foster family, but we want every child to have a stable, safe family so they can enjoy the joys of being a child in a safe and stable placement. So whatever that family may look like for the child, we want to strengthen that family and make sure they have that love and support of a stable family.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything you do. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, heartwarming work. It takes, as you said, a village to raise these kids, and all of us working together is just so great to know that, they have a team behind them and we're all on that same team. So thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you for CASA. I mean, they're amazing partners. We couldn't do our job without CASA, 100%. So we love CASA volunteers.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. I know how busy you guys are. You've got so much going on. So the fact that you took your time out today to help educate us a little bit was fantastic. Love that. Thank you so much. To my co-host, thank you so much. Emilio's going to have big shoes to fill when he comes back for our next episodes.
So thank you again for inviting me.
Absolutely. And just in closing, I'd just like to say thank you to all of you watching today. It does take a village. There's so many ways to get involved. As we always tell you, please become a CASA volunteer. In as little as 5 to 10 hours a month, you can change a child's story. And we need amazing foster parents. So please, if that's where your heart lies, please get involved. Please help a kid out. There's so many ways to get involved. So please just get connected with us. We'd love to have the help.